I think about the supply chain profession and how it's branded, I think the change has been really nothing short of dramatic.
Dramatic, man, that's some word. Walk us through that then. Tell us how it's been so momentous in your idea.
When you think about some of the other core functions of an enterprise, and no disrespect to these functions, I mean, they're important, but finance, accounting, sales, marketing, I think most people on the street would tell you, okay, I kind of get what's done in those professions. When you think about supply chain, over the last 10 or 15 years, that's gone from a function where people primarily thought about, warehousing, trucks going down the road, trains, planes, automobiles, things hitting shelves. And while that's still an important underpinning of supply chain, when you look at the role supply chains now occupying, much more broad. And there have been a lot of enablers for that, but the bottom line is the supply chain function in enterprises now has the capability to reach all corners of the enterprise, customers, supply networks. It really is maybe the most horizontal function that you see in large enterprises today.
Supply chain is the entire process. Logistics is a part of the supply chain process. It's the movement of the goods within the supply chain process, either the raw materials to the manufacturer or from the manufacturer to the end user or to the distributor. So logistics plays a part of the movement of goods, where supply chain is the entire process.
And when you say the entire process, we're talking about what? Raw materials procurement all the way to final delivery?
Yes, sir.
Everything
Upstream,
that takes
downstream, the entire process. And a lot of people get confused between supply chain and logistics. They feel it's the same, just like they feel sales and marketing is the same, where sales is just a part of marketing. Well, logistics is just a part of supply chain. And in supply chain, of course, you're dealing with the procurement, you're dealing with the technology of knowing all the different software programs. With the logistics, you're dealing with transportation companies and warehousing and just the movement of goods itself.
Well, it's interesting. You may be a little surprised by my answer. As a person who's at HP today and has been with several of the world's leading technology companies, I really feel that while technology is important, sometimes the importance of technology can be overdone, right? When people think about how to strategically evolve functions like the supply chain function. I mean, supply chain really is one of those functions that truly, right, requires you to have good people, processes, and technology. Mm-hmm. And to me, probably the most overlooked part of that equation is the people. The technology is certainly very important, and it will always be important. But the reason I think this is an important question, because I think it will prompt people to step back and think about, is having world-class strategic supply chain really all hinging on the technology? And I will tell you that you have to have solid technology, but when you have technology, that's only one part of the equation. You really have to think about the skills that your people bring to the table and how the processes and culture of your company can build on that technology. If you just put in the best technology, but it's not the right technology for your organization, for your people, your processes, you could still fail. However, you could go with maybe second or third tier technology, but if it is a better fit for what your company brings to the table in its industry, you could still rise to the top very easily.
When you mention or when you accent people as much as you just did, it does give rise to thinking about talent development, about talent management at a particular company. I wonder what your views are on that, bringing people along and training them in the supply chain function.
That's a good question. When I look at what's happened over the last, say, 10 or 15 years, I call it really this rising tide of supply chain as it's risen in both its stature and importance in companies. The importance of developing in your people skills and technology in that space has gotten more and more important. And so at HP, I'm very proud to say that we do a lot in that space. And I believe we're a leader in that space because we recognized long ago that it's very important to think about what skills are going to be required for not today, not next month or next year, but what's going to be required for 2, 3, 5 years down the road. And we've really made a lot of investments in understanding where we think that path is taking us. And not only does that help you build capabilities within your people, it helps you continue to attract and retain, top talent. And I think, yes, most companies never have to be reminded about the tools and technology they need to invest in. But sometimes it takes some reminding to think about what it takes to invest in your people, your skills, and the talents they need in order to be successful in the future. I've heard people speak about, say, the warehouse operations, the distribution operations, and how the people in those operations, they think about, how do I pick something, pack it, get it out the door? And they want to do that very well. Hey, that's good. That's really good. But think about what you could bring to bear if you could also get people in those functions to understand how what they do and what they do well or not well impacts everything all the way out to the customer solution. So I think investing in bringing in the right people, investing in building their skills, and really training people to understand the broader impact that the supply chain function has is important. I mean, we spend a lot of time and really put a lot of our top people in positions where they are helping to solution the customer experience.
Absolutely. You can't sit still in this business. And continuous improvement and lean, all these processes that have to be improved, you can't just sit still and continue to move forward. So yes, the different certifications, the ability to learn new programs, new software, that's how you succeed, I think, and that's how you progress in this business to, leadership positions.
Well, let's look at it first from the company's point of view and then from the individual. From the company's point of view, what all certifications do is they declare that the individual has mastered the body of knowledge at some base level. I mean, there'll be people above that level, but at least at some base level. So when you put them in a room together to talk, everybody is talking from the same page. And I've had a number of CPOs, Chief Purchasing Officers, say that's what one of the benefits they found when they encouraged all their people to go become certified, is that suddenly they were all talking the same language with the same knowledge. From the individual's point of view, SM, it's really a declaration, a personal declaration of a commitment to the profession and a personal challenge to make sure that they know they've mastered the body of knowledge. So it's very personal. Most people don't tell us they pursue it to either get promoted or get a raise.
And yet it does make an individual more marketable, does it not?
Without question, it makes you more marketable. More and more companies prefer it. Not many actually require it. And more companies embrace it within the company and encourage all of their people to pursue it, and the company pays the costs of doing it.
The supply chain team at McAfee has the lowest attrition in the company, as well as ranked in the high-performing team status with Hewitt Associates. Now, how we got there was we developed a whole series of core development schedules for each of the employees in the team, and part of that core development was not only what the traditional job description was, but what the next job looks like, what skills they need to have for that next job, what it is that we would associate them joining professional certifications, professional associations, professional meetings, and then giving them the ability, giving them the commitment that if they want to go down that path, we will fund it and encourage it. And so there's actually a tie-out to a development plan that is funded. And the commitment is that we will fund it if you want to invest in your own future and create a better tool bag for yourself going forward.